Welcome dear student. So today we shall learn about Newton's second law of motion, and student Newton's first law of motion just we have learned in our previous video. So you can check out my playlist to understand first law of motion. Let's study this law. Alright, so student, before learning the Newton's second law of motion, just quickly revise the Newton's first law of motion. So what it is? An object continues to remain at rest or in a state of uniform motion along a straight line unless an external unbalanced force acts on it. So this was Newton's first law of motion. Now let's study second law. Newton's second law of motion. Alright, so Newton's second law of motion. So student, the effect of one object striking another object depends on both on the mass of the former object and its velocity. That means when one object striking the another object, what happened? The former object, that means which will strike the another second object, it will depend on the mass and velocity of the former object. Okay, now what is velocity? It is a displacement occurs in unit time. Okay, and this means that the effect of the force depends on a property related to both mass and velocity of the striking object. That means the force will depends on both properties, that is mass and velocity of the striking or former object. All right, and this property was termed momentum by a Newton. Okay, so Newton termed this property as momentum. Now let's see what is a momentum. So the symbol for momentum is capital P. Momentum is the product of mass and velocity of an object. So what is momentum? It is a product of both mass and velocity of an object. Alright, and the formula for momentum is P is equals to mv, where P is for momentum, m is for mass of an object, and v relate to velocity of an object. And momentum is a vector quantity. Now what is mean by vector quantity? It is a physical quantity which has magnitude as well as direction, and its direction is the same as that of velocity. That means direction of the momentum is same as that the velocity. In SI system, the unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second. Now what is SI system? So student, this is international system of unit. Okay, so in SI system the unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second, and in CGS system the unit of momentum is gram centimeter per second. Now CGS means centimeter gram second system of unit. If an unbalanced force applied on an object causes a change in the velocity of the object, then it also causes the change in its momentum. That means if the external force will be applied on the object, what happened? The velocity will obviously change, but with velocity momentum also changes, and the force necessary to cause a change in the momentum of an object depends upon the rate of change of momentum. So this was all about momentum. Now Newton's second law of motion. Let's see what is the law. So the rate of change of momentum is proportional to the applied force, and the change of momentum occurs in the direction of the force. So the law has two main statements. First statement is the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force, and the second statement is the change of momentum. Okay, the change of momentum occurs in the direction of the force. So student, please don't get confused in the second law. It has two statements. First, the rate of change of momentum is proportional to the applied force, unbalanced force, and next statement is or the next part of the statement is change of momentum occurs in the direction of the force. So this was Newton's second law of motion. Okay, so student, let's understand Newton's second law of motion by a simple derivation. Suppose an object of mass m has an initial velocity u. Always remember, the initial velocity will be denoted by u. When a force, that means when an external force F is applied in the direction of its velocity for time t, its velocity or its final velocity becomes v. So therefore the initial momentum of the object will be equal to mu. Now m for mass and u for initial velocity, and its final momentum after time t will be equal to mv. Now here in final velocity, final momentum, that's why here v is there. Okay, now therefore the rate of change of momentum is equal to, now formula for the rate of change of momentum will be equal to change in momentum upon time. Okay, now in next step, student, we have the rate of change of momentum will be equal to, now in the previous step we have seen change in momentum. Okay, so if we have to calculate change in momentum, so how we will get, a final momentum minus initial momentum. So our final momentum is mv minus initial momentum will be mu upon time t. Okay, now in next step, student, if you will observe, here m is there and here m, so it will be, we can take this m as common, and in next step we will get m into bracket v minus u upon t. Now is equals to, this is equals to ma. Now how this come? So student, if you have remember our one of the video from this chapter only, that is equation describing the relation between displacement and velocity. So in that derivation we have used a is equals to v minus u upon t. That means a is nothing but acceleration. Okay, so on the place of v minus u upon t we can write ma. That means mass into acceleration. Sorry, not mass, this is momentum. Okay, so this is the next step will be. So according to the Newton's second law of motion, the rate of change of momentum is proportional to the applied force. Okay, and therefore force F is directly proportional to ma. Now F is for applied force, and with this applied force will be proportional to the rate of change of momentum. That means m and a is for acceleration. All right, and therefore F is equals to k into ma, where k is equals to proportionality constant and its value is 1. So after removing the sign of proportionality, we will apply it is equals to k, where k is constant of proportionality and its value will be equal to 1. So finally we get our formula for the Newton's second law of motion, that F is equals to ma. So this is the formula for second law of motion, where it is seen that force is proportional to the mass into rate of change of momentum acceleration. So student, consider here two objects having different masses which are initially at rest. So here two objects are there. For mass of one object is 5 kg and mass of another object is 10 kg or kilogram. So these are at rest. So the initial momentum for both is 0. Alright. So suppose a force Fx for time t on both the objects, the higher object start moving faster than the heavier object. Okay, so the object with the lesser mass, that is 5 kg mass, it will move very quickly to the earth than the heavier object. Okay, 5 kg will come more faster and 10 kg will come little slower. So suppose a force Fx for time t on both the objects. However, from the formula, now formula is F is equals to ma. This is second law of motion. Okay, so we know that the rate of change of momentum, that is F in both object is same. All right, both object is same and the total change in their momentum will also be same, that is Ft. And thus if the same force is applied on different object, that means objects having different masses, the change in momentum will be same. That means force will be if the force will be same, but although the object mass of the object will be different, but the force and momentum will be same. Now in SI system, the unit of force is Newton, that is capital N. Now what is Newton? So the Newton or N is the force necessary to cause an acceleration of 1 meter per second square in an object of mass 1 kilogram is called 1 Newton. So this is a proper definition of Newton. And 1 Newton is equals to 1 kilogram into 1 meter per second square. So this was all about Newton. Okay. Now in CGS system, that means centimeter gram second system, the unit of force is dyne. Okay. And definition of dyne is the force necessary to cause an acceleration of 1 centimeter per second square in an object of mass 1 gram is called 1 dyne. And 1 dyne is equals to 1 gram into 1 centimeter per second square. So student, this was all about the second law of motion. I hope you all have understood. The next part of the lesson we will cover in our next session. Thank you.